Bandurria, Peru is an archaeological site that is home of one of the earliest monumental architecture of the Americas. 4 pyramids rising to heights of 26 to 40 feet that are nearly 4,500 years old. Excavation in the area has also revealed ancient homes of Ana cemetery that belonged to a complex society that had developed a tradition of reed and rush weaving, a skill used to produce such objects as mats and baskets before ceramics had even been invented. The site is located beside the Paraíso Playa Chica wetland that provides the raw materials for the weaving tradition and creates a unique landscape. This precious archaeological site, however, is in danger of being lost forever. Bandurria is now home of an impoverished community of 33 families who are continuing their ancestors' tradition of reed and rush handicraft, but are struggling to make ends meet. They live directly over archaeological remains of houses and the cemetery, which are protected by Peruvian law that prohibits the community from digging and installing such basic services as water and electricity. The current location of the residence is also destroying the archaeological site, the very thing that would attract tourists to the area to buy the traditional woven handicrafts. How we can empower and improve the life of those in the community? Can we save the archaeological site? Turns out we can do both. Local archaeologists and Bandurria head of excavation, Alejandro approached the community, and together they came up with a creative solution for community improvement and sustainable preservation of the site. The project will develop an artisan's quarter in the form of a number of house workshops, one for each family in the community, located off of the archaeological remains but near to the site. The new location will not only allow for the digging necessary for water and electricity, but also for the preservation of this priceless cultural heritage. With appropriate workshops, the local resident can better create the traditional handicrafts on which they pride themselves, and when tourists come to visit the site, already the most popular tourist attraction of the Huaura province and the second most visited archaeological site after Caral in the Norte Chico area, purchase these handicrafts directly for the artisans who made them. When such a solution is possible, why settle for anything less than saving sites and transforming life? Initially, we are asking only for the funds to start the project and build the first 2 house workshops. Please help us save the site of Bandurria and empower the local community at the same time. Donate to our project today. Who are we? Sustainable Preservation Initiative (SPI) is a new dynamic non-profit that seeks to preserve the world's cultural heritage in a completely new way. Typically, preservation organizations try to preserve decaying archaeological sites by focusing on repairing walls, restoring stones, and building large site monuments. However, once conservation specialists leave, the site often falls back into decay and the museums end up empty and derelict. The project just aren't sustainable. SPI, on the other hand, approaches preservation by concentrating the community actually living around the site, whose impoverished residents are forced to loot their own cultural heritage to provide basics for themselves and their families. By investing in locally created and owned businesses whose success is tied to the preservation of the site, we help local communities create jobs and give residents an economic incentive to preserve their cultural heritage. Our approach to preservation funds itself and will continue to fund itself by making the cultural heritage site a tangible economical benefit for the community. We believe that it's about people, not stones.